look at the science behind some of the most important questions in life. And today we're talking about, can video games be good for you?
This guy is not a scam, okay? I mean, if one of you in the audience were to write in saying to me that this guy was a scam, I'd be really offended, because I made a list of like 10 different things that raise a red flag for someone being a scam artist, and he's only got like 8 of them going on. And another thing, I mean, like, not to be homophobic, and like not to say that I'm not homophobic, because I mean, if I am, that has nothing to do with it. But it kind of rankles me that this guy is a so-called gynecologist. Like, I kind of feel like he's treading on my territory here, because like in offering this commentary on video game addiction, I mean, I may not know video games, but I know vagina, okay? And I mean, yeah, I'm out of adjectives.
And I want to look at the evidence to see whether there are actually any benefits of playing video games. Firstly, we've got evidence that video games improve our memory and our visual navigational skills. This 2015 study from the University of California compared gamers versus non-gamers. The first group played Super Mario 64, a 3D game. The second group played Angry Birds, a 2D game, and the third group didn't play any games at all. And they found that in those who practiced the 3D game for half an hour a day, they had improved performance on certain memory tasks.
Dude, this is like the single most legitimate use of scientific method. Like, you find something you know is bad and filthy and evil and wrong in your life, and then you Google search to try to find excuses to justify it. Like, I can be smart like a gynecologist too. Look at me. I Googled around for articles proving that alcohol consumption is associated with higher intelligence. Check this out. People with high IQ drink more alcohol. Don't read the rest of the article. That's it. Just the first sentence. Yeah, you see how it says, although? You don't want to know what it says after that, okay? Hey, I found this great excuse for my own fucking bad habits. I'm ashamed of myself. I feel bad. I know how to use Google to shore up excuses for my ego. Science, baby. Science. Very dull people engage in binge drinking less than once a year, in sharp contrast to, quote, very bright people. So yeah, binge drinking positively associated with higher levels of intelligence. Don't read the rest of the article. Oh, and guess what? It turns out he didn't read the article himself either. He claims that video games improve memory, and they don't. Even the article he was quoting himself does not prove that. They say, on the contrary, that the null hypothesis was confirmed with their 2 main tests of memory improvement. Read the details if you want to. Guess what? This is the internet. This is YouTube. This is where people come to lie and to make money by telling you things that are maybe half true at most that you want to hear. Doctors do it. Doctors do it all the time. Doctors tell you that drinking alcohol is good for you. They tell you that eating red meat is good for you. They tell you not to worry about cholesterol. They tell you not to worry about cheating on your wife. They'll tell you whatever the fuck it is they think you want to hear so they can get famous on Instagram.
Not gonna lie.
Oh, you're gonna lie. You managed to kick off the video with the bold statement, I'm not gonna lie, and surprise, surprise, the video is full of lies.
As a doctor who saves lives on the regular.
Dude, you're a gynecologist.
As a doctor who saves lives on the regular.
Unless there's something really wrong with the hospital in Cambridge, England you work at, like maybe you're a battlefield gynecologist in a war zone, this can't remotely be true. But like, even if you were working in a war zone, like, dude.
As a doctor who saves lives on the regular.
I'll get back to the science behind video games and cognitive function in just a moment. But like, I've known so many people who worked in emergency medicine. I knew doctors who were volunteering to work in Myanmar and Cambodia and Laos, and none of them talk like this, neither earnestly nor ironically. And I know that some of you think that I'm using this sound clip out of context, like as if he was just making a joke, as if he was setting up a punchline. There is no punchline.
Next, I moisturize my face with the Natio Daily Moisturizer, including Sun Protection Factor 15, of course, and spray a few sprays of Allure Homme by Chanel.
Chanel. It's one of the pleasures of being a woman.
The fact that he can't pronounce the brand name Chanel normally wouldn't bother me, but the context here is that the whole video just consists of bragging in the guise of humble bragging about the expensive brand name items he owns and uses as part of his faux ghetto fabulous existence as a Cambridge, UK doctor. It just makes no sense. If a guy like me didn't know how to pronounce Chanel, that would be a different thing, because I would never spend my money on that crap. But for a guy like him who spends his money on it and then tries to attract Instagram followers by bragging about it, I just felt it was worth pointing out here.
I drive away from Cambridge at around 7 a.m. and arrive at the hospital around 7:50, ready for a full day of saving lives and stamping out disease.
The main point of this video, that we'll get back to in just a moment here, is that this guy is mentally incapable of reading a peer-reviewed research paper, or ethically incapable of reporting it to you in the audience honestly. But yeah, somehow knowing this other side of his character, that sort of does change it for me. Somehow, if I felt I were in the act of criticizing a humble doctor who was actually saving lives, rather than a megalomaniacal gynecologist who recklessly boasts about daily waking up to save lives, who just flat out lies to you about, how his day-to-day existence is just saving lives. Dude, not even Battlefront doctors, not even the guys. I knew a guy who went out in a helicopter to a mine site in Myanmar on the regular to do emergency medicine in a place where there are no hospitals. I've known people practicing medicine in extreme third world conditions. None of them boast like this. None of them talk about themselves and their lives this way. People who worked in refugee camps, you have got to be kidding me. And this guy is not kidding.
As dawn breaks and the clock chimes 6:30 a.m., my iPhone alarm wakes me out of my dreams of a better future for the world.
When you see those commercials claiming change your whole life with just one simple trick, you probably assume that kind of messaging comes from someone who's on the brink of poverty or employed by a heartless corporation. No, it's guys like this. This dude has either evolved or devolved to the point where he can, with a straight face and total sincerity, tell you that he saves lives every day, tell you that he has one simple habit that will change your life, that he can tell you the secret to success. This dude doesn't sell snake oil. He is snake oil. He has himself become the snake oil that he's selling.
Secondly, we've got decent evidence that video games help improve our problem-solving ability.
I mentioned this briefly before. I'm going to mention it really briefly now. If you were going to quote this particular scientific study to prove the point that playing video games improves your memory, improves your recall ability, you would have to admit that this same study states that their own hypothesis was disproven, was proven to be false again and again. You can't engage in cherry picking within one and the same study. I'm not quoting separate research from a separate study to disprove what he's saying. In the bottom right corner of the screen here, I'm quoting the same study. So point one, the study admits that video game players did not improve their memory as measured by two different tests. However, it did find that after 2 weeks of training, playing the video game Super Mario World 3D, the video gamers improved their performance at a certain virtual water maze task. Do you think this is going to overturn what I already quoted, what I already showed you on screen? Do you think that the negative findings prove to be trivial compared to the significance of this water maze task? Or do you think when you look into the details, it's going to turn out that virtual water maze is really nothing other than a video game. And all that they've proven is playing 3D video games makes you more skilled and more adept at playing other 3D video games. Yeah, that's right. It's just a video game. Those are screenshots of the so-called 3D water maze memory task. It may be the least entertaining video game ever made, but it is a 3D video game. So absolutely nobody should be surprised that having weeks of training playing 3D video games would make you more skilled at playing a 3D video game.
The first group played Super Mario 64, a 3D game. The second group played Angry Birds, a 2D game, and the third group didn't play any games at all. And they found that in those who practiced the 3D game for half an hour a day, they had improved performance on certain memory tasks.
And I think he's aware that he's lying because he's very careful about his wording, just to say that people were better at certain memory tasks. Now, I'm going to say to you here, I don't want this video to be 20 minutes long. I don't want this video to be 20 minutes longer than it already is. I'm not summarizing for you each and every finding within this study, but I'm being much more honest and balanced than he was in saying that this study comes to more than one conclusion about more than one type of test. And in my opinion, all that it proves is that playing video games makes you better at playing video games or tasks that very closely resemble playing video games. They had the hypothesis that playing video games would result in more rapid visual processing ability. And instead, as you see in bold text, we did not find any significant differences between the three groups in either error rate. This same pattern plays out in a different study that he also cited, that he also linked to from the same video, and where I also wonder if he actually read it at all, like if he is lying knowingly or unknowingly. Because again, all that this study proved is that people who play video games become more adept at playing video games or performing tasks at a computer that very closely resemble video games. Again, jump to the bold text at the bottom. They were judging in the least amount of time possible whether the dots were moving to the right or moving to the left. Again, this may be the least entertaining video game in the history of video games, but that is all it is. This doesn't show more advanced cognition, greater intelligence, greater memory, or anything else.
Not gonna lie.
This man isn't selling you snake oil. He himself is the snake oil. In this case, the process is the product. And if you trust him, you have been sold.